What happens when a girl from a good family gets on the bad side of Poland's most feared underworld kingpin? This Polish crime thriller, released on May 29th, 2024, leave you on the edge of your seat throughout its runtime. Is bound to leave you on the edge of your seat throughout its whole runtime. Colors of Evil, Red, directed by Adrian Panek, is a movie that features an ensemble of Polish actors such as Jakub Gierszal and Maja Ostaszewska. Colors of Evil follows the story of a prosecutor, Leopold Bilski, played by Jakub Gierszal, who is adamant about solving the mysterious murder of a teenage bartender, only to discover that there is an incredibly complex web of crime, mafia conspiracy, and previous murders. Now our story begins. Two teenagers enter a club called the Shipyard late at night. The boy dissolves into the crowd, while the young girl flirts with the bartender to get a job, in hopes of getting a job, I would say, which results in them having sex. Sometime later, the dead body of that same girl is found on the beach with severe anal trauma and mutilated lips. Prosecutor Leopold Bilski arrives at the scene to aid detectives both Spider and Haircut in their investigation, and is introduced to CME Tadeusz Dubuela, who is performing an initial autopsy of the victim, now identified as Monika Boguka. The main suspect is identified as a man named Jakubiak, who murdered his fiancée, Zanika Koleta, 15 years prior in the exact same manner. Bilski promptly arrests Jakubiak, but Jakubiak commits suicide by jumping out of Bilski's office window, leaving Bilski shocked. All of Bilski's superiors perceive the case to be solved, but he does not. Believing the evidence at Jakubiak's house to be planted, Bilski digs deeper into Zaleta's murder, only to find that she and Monika both worked at the Shipyard, which is owned by Lukasz Kozarski, the godfather of Poland's trafficking empire. It is revealed that Monika, along with her boyfriend, Waldemir Mila, was running drugs out of the Shipyard. Bilski arrives at the Shipyard to scrape more information together, only to find that their lawyer is none other than Roman Boguka, Monika's father. Meanwhile, Judge Helena Boguka, Monika's mother, is devastated about the loss of her daughter and decides to investigate the case for herself. She believes that Jakubiak to be innocent as well. Elsewhere, Bilski links 3 more murders with the same MO to the Shipyard. Earlier, Kozarski had visited the Shipyard and immediately took a liking for Monika, who was dealing back then. Back to the present day, Bilski finds a stash of drugs while searching Monika's room and sends them for an autopsy. In another flashback, Mila is shown bringing some lingerie for Monika so that she can put it on for a guest. When she refuses to do so, he repeatedly hits her until she complies. Not long after, Kozarski arrives. He ties Monika's hands with a zip tie and nearly suffocates her with a plastic bag before forcefully having intercourse with her. Believing that she has had enough, Monika decides to report the murder of Fatso and her rape at the hands of Kozarski to the police. At the station, the policeman whom Monika reports to is revealed to be on his payroll as none other than Spider, one of the 2 detectives currently who have been helping Bilski on the case all along. Kozarski kidnaps Monika and has her brought to his estate, where he brutally employs sexual torture to her up to the point where she cannot even walk and her intestines are punctured. Now, Helena arrives at the shipyard, hoping to seek answers. When she starts inquiring about her daughter, Kozarski's men lace her with a date rape drug, hoping to silence her forever. But she narrowly escapes from a bathroom window on the advice of a prostitute working at the club who used to be Monika's friend. The drug bag reveals the fingerprints of not only Waldemir Mila, Kozarski's trusted associate and Monika's boyfriend. Bilski, Haircut, and Spider track him down to an abandoned construction site. But right as he's about to confess, he recognizes Spider by his name, which is why he gets shot 9 times, growing Bilski's agitation. Bilski's supervisor, Ambrosiak, arranges him to be transferred to Conan as a punishment for not dropping the case. As the story goes on, we are taken at Boguka residence. Helena confronts Roman for working for Kozarski, revealing that she has found a pen drive on which Roman stored all of Kozarski's money laundering and smuggling operational details. Helena hands the pen over to Bilski, who quickly arranges the SWAT operation and arrests Kozarski. Paramedics find a sexual torture chamber in the basement with a wide array of horrifying tools and drills. Spider gets really jumpy, wanting to transfer Kozarski himself, but Bilski refuses and assigns Haircut to take Kozarski to the prison facility. Find a sexual torture chamber in the basement with a wide array of horrifying tools and drills. Spider gets really jumpy, wanting to transfer Kozarski himself, but Bilski refuses and assigns Haircut to take Kozarski to the prison facility. The past continues, as Monika once approached her father to tearfully explain what Kozarski had done to her, but he advised her to leave town and go live somewhere else until things cooled down. The paramedics are unable to find any traces of DNA, not only in the sexual torture chamber, but the club. So Bilski heads to the prison to go through Kozarski's personal belongings and finds a bracelet made of human lip tissue containing Zaleta's DNA, solving the reality of the decade-old murder. However, Monika's DNA is still nowhere to be found. The police get proof of Spider's corruption and encounter him in an armed altercation. The case is virtually solved, with Kozarski behind bars, but he does not confess to killing Monika, nor does her DNA appear anywhere on the bracelet retrieved from Kozarski. Bilski meets Helena, who reveals that she is going to Dubois' farmhouse for the weekend, whereas he himself goes to Warsaw to celebrate his 5th birthday of his daughter, who is also named Monika. At Dubois' farmhouse, his son Mario acts strange in front of Helena, admitting that he had a crush on Monika, after which he urges his father to own up to the truth. Dubois quickly brushes him off, and Mario leaves. Now, on his way to his 5th birthday party of his daughter, Bilski stops at a gas station when he suddenly remembers that he saw Monika's ancestral ring on Mario's shelf back when he visited Dubois for the initial autopsy report. He immediately rushes to the farmhouse, where Helena is fetching herself a glass of water when she stumbles upon the ancestral ring, that same ring, on Mario's desk and breaks down into tears. She asks Abuela to call her a taxi when he hugs her tightly, also sedating her in the process. When Helena finally wakes up from her sedated state, Abuela catches her up on how Monika actually did escape successfully after all. She had come here to the farmhouse where Mario forced himself on her at a drunken state. When Monika rejected his advances, He banged her head onto the ground until she died. To save his son, Duela framed Jakubiak for the murder as he was the perfect scapegoat whose murder would raise no suspicions. Bilski gets there and hears a gunshot. He breaks in to see that Duela had shot himself through the head in hopes of his atonement. Mario goes to the police station and confesses, initially overwhelmed by guilt. Our story then transitions to Bilski arriving in Warsaw and hugging his 5-year-old daughter as the credits begin to roll. In the present day, a grief-stricken Elena goes to Duela's house where it is revealed that they are having an affair behind Roman's back. The film cuts to a flashback where Kazarski is shown to be killing a lieutenant named Fatso by cutting out his lips and slashing his throat with a box cutter with Monika and Mila present. Monika is afraid of Kazarski's lustful eyes towards her, but Mila assures her that he will keep her safe no matter the cost. In the present day, a grief-stricken Helena goes to Duela's house where it was revealed that they are having an affair behind Roman's back. The film cuts to a flashback where Kazarski is shown to be killing a lieutenant named Fatso by cutting out his lips and slashing his throat with a box cutter, with Monika and Mila present. Monika is afraid of Kazarski's lustful eyes towards her, but Mila assures her that he will keep her safe no matter the cost. The movie gives a realistic view of the vices of today's world, where even a single bad decision can get into an inescapable swamp of endless despair and agony. Another message or moral takeaway that the movie gives is that you should always watch out for who you put your trust into. As Monika trusted both her boyfriend, Mila, and Mario, only to be wronged by them in the fullest extent. The performance delivered by every member of this cast was absolutely phenomenal. Zofia Jastrzebska, who plays Monika, succeeds at capturing the emotional complexity of a rape victim just as much as Maja Ostaszewska, who plays Helena, gives the perfect appearance of a grieving mother. Jakub Gierszal, for the character of Bilski, was a great addition to the cast. At points, you could almost see him making decisions with his eyes before implementing them. Now, Lukasz, Kazarska's actor, Przemysław Bulskas, did a flawless job of portraying the larger-than-life psychopath gangster villain. Every time he is on screen, the viewer feels concerned about what is going to happen next. The direction was also very good, with the screenplay and dialogue being impeccable and well-rounded. In this movie had little to no room left for improvement, as they are gritty, realistic, and eerily spine-chilling. Scenes with heavy emotional toll had dim lighting, and it's also impressive how the shipyard was painted as almost a devil's lair in a form of a club where every sin took place. The audios used were very subtle, but smartly in the storyline for this film, as the viewer can hear classical music at key points in the story to build a crescendo or give a dramatic effect, invoking a scene of panic or urgency in the viewer's mind for them to resonate with the characters. The grim piano music and occasional violin scores really elevated the scenes, even though the movie relied more on visuals rather than soundtrack to invoke interest. This movie was generally received with positive feedback from the audience, as Google reviews praised the film for its high adrenaline plot twists and shocks. Rotten Tomatoes gave Colors of Evil, Red, a 52% audience score. The movie was generally received with positive feedback from the audience, as Google reviews praised the film for its high adrenaline plot twists and shocks, Rotten Tomatoes gave Colors of Evil Red a 52% audience score. This movie was generally received with positive feedback from the audience, as Google reviews states and praise the film for its high adrenaline plot twists and shocks. Rotten Tomatoes gave Colors of Evil Red a 52% audience score. Not too bad. Overall, this movie is one of those that will have you sitting in shock and awe for a long time. With a great cast and loads of suspense and plot twists, this movie is a must-watch in my opinion. Only if you're in the company of adults due to its mature content and disturbing storyline. However, there is one plot hole that needs to be addressed. Where are Monica's lips? Did Buela dies before answering? But nonetheless, do give this movie a try this movie night. You will not regret it. And that's it. If you liked this video, please hit the like button, comment, subscribe to our channel to watch the latest and exclusive movie reviews. Have your thoughts and recommendations in the comment section for more movie reviews. Just drop them right there in the comment section. And we will see you on the next one. Peace.